The golden hour for sleep after 70, paraphrased version. Have you ever wondered if there's a truly ideal bedtime, one that could sharpen your memory, protect your heart, and bring your energy back within just a few weeks? It sounds almost too simple, but what if the reason you've been feeling more worn out lately, misplacing small details, or waking up groggy even after a full night's rest isn't age catching up with you at all, but simply going to bed at the wrong hour? If you're past 70 or you're looking after someone who is, what I'm about to share could completely reshape how you think about sleep and, more importantly, how you age. As someone who's studied sleep for more than 2 decades, I've watched this one small shift make an enormous difference in people's lives. I've seen older adults move from restless, broken nights and constant fatigue to waking up refreshed, mentally sharp, and emotionally steady without new prescriptions, costly treatments, or complicated routines. All they did was change when they went to sleep. In today's video, I'll walk you through the scientifically supported golden window for bedtime. It's helping seniors across the country sleep better and, as a result, live healthier. Because here's a truth rarely discussed: your body's internal clock shifts dramatically once you pass 70. And if you keep resisting that shift, staying up late for a show, clinging to an old routine, you may be setting yourself up for exhaustion, memory slips, and even heart trouble. But once you understand what's happening inside your body and start working with it rather than against it, everything changes. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through what recent research out of Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins has uncovered about the aging brain, sleep hormones, and the ideal bedtime for older adults. I'll also share real stories from patients in their 70s and 80s who made this single adjustment and saw striking results in just a matter of weeks. So if you've been dealing with poor sleep, low energy, or lapses in memory, or if you simply want to age with more strength, clarity, and peace of mind, stay with me, because this could be the most important health video you watch all year. Before we get into it, if you find this kind of information useful, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new tip on senior health. And I'd genuinely love to hear from you. Have you noticed changes in your sleep as you've gotten older? Let me know in the comments. Now let's dig into the surprising science of sleep after 70 and why the right bedtime might be the medicine you never realized you needed. Why sleep changes after 70 and what your body is trying to tell you. Have you noticed your sleep just isn't what it used to be? Maybe you nod off during your favorite evening program only to find yourself staring at the ceiling wide awake at 2 a.m.? Or perhaps you still get your 7 or 8 hours, but wake up feeling like you never really rested at all. If that sounds familiar, here's something important to know. It isn't because you're doing anything wrong, and it isn't simply because you're getting older. It's because your body is changing, and your sleep is following right along with it. After age 70, something quiet but powerful starts happening in the brain. We begin losing a particular type of sleep called deep sleep, the stage responsible for repairing the body, clearing the mind, and restoring energy. Research shows that by our 70s, we're getting up to 40% less deep sleep than we did in our 50s. That's an enormous shift. It means that even if you're technically asleep, your brain and body might not be getting the kind of rest they actually need, which is exactly why so many older adults wake up still feeling tired, foggy, or emotionally flat, even after a full night in bed. But there's another piece to this puzzle. As we age, the body starts producing melatonin, the hormone that makes us feel sleepy, earlier in the day. So while that familiar wave of drowsiness might hit around 8 or 8:30 in the evening, a lot of people push right past it. They tell themselves it's too early, and they power through with TV, emails, snacks, or plain habit. But here's the truth. That early tiredness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's your body's natural rhythm gently trying to guide you toward rest. And when we ignore it, when we fight it, that's precisely when sleep starts becoming elusive. I'll never forget a longtime patient of mine, Mr. Johnson, who walked into my office one cool autumn afternoon looking frustrated and worn thin. He was 70, a retired high school history teacher with a sharp mind and a gentle way about him. He looked at me and said, "Doctor, I go to bed at the same time I always have, around 11. I lie there for hours, and when I finally do fall asleep, I wake up even more exhausted than before. What's wrong with me?" We talked it through, ran a few basic tests, and the picture became clear pretty quickly. Nothing was actually wrong with Mr. Johnson. He simply hadn't realized his internal clock had shifted. His brain was releasing melatonin earlier than it used to, but his old habits were keeping him up long past the ideal window for deep restorative sleep. I asked him to try something simple. For 3 weeks, go to bed at 9:30 p.m. No television, no late-night reading, just listening to what his body was telling him. He laughed. "That early?" I smiled and told him to just give it a shot. 3 weeks later, he walked back into my office with a completely different energy about him. He stood taller, his eyes looked brighter, and he said something I'd never forgotten. "It's like someone switched the light back on in my brain." He was sleeping more soundly, waking up clear-headed, and had even gotten back to his morning walks, something he hadn't felt up to in months. Mr. Johnson's story isn't rare. It isn't even unusual. It's the story of millions of older adults trying to live by the same schedule they kept 30 years ago, while their bodies are quietly asking for something different. And here's the truth. Sleep in your 70s looks different, but it isn't broken. Your body still wants to rest, heal, and reset. It's simply operating on a new timeline. The good news is that once you understand how your sleep has changed, you can start honoring it. You can stop fighting sleep and start moving with it. And that's when real rest returns. The sleep window that can change your life. Why 9 to 10 p.m. is the golden hour after 70. Let me share something most doctors don't say out loud. When you go to bed might matter just as much as how long you sleep. If you've ever stayed up past 10 just to finish a show, catch up with family, or enjoy a bit of quiet time, only to wake up sluggish and unrefreshed the next morning, you're far from alone. Here's what might surprise you, though. Recent research out of the Mayo Clinic found that older adults who consistently went to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. saw a 45% improvement in sleep quality. That's not a minor tweak, and it's not a placebo effect, it's a real measurable change. Deeper sleep, fewer nighttime wake-ups, and noticeably more energy in the morning. Why does this happen? As we age, our internal body clock shifts. The hormones that govern sleep, melatonin, which helps us drift off, and cortisol, which helps us wake, begin appearing earlier in the evening and earlier in the morning. In your 40s or 50s, natural sleepiness may have arrived around 10:30 or 11. But by your 70s, your body may start nudging you towards sleep as early as 8:30 p.m. That drowsy sensation in the early evening isn't just age catching up with you, it's your biology telling you it's time. But so many of us ignore that signal. We push against it, stay up later, wait for a second wind that never quite comes, and then wonder why our sleep feels off. Let me tell you about Mrs. Williams, a wonderful 76-year-old woman who came to my clinic after struggling with insomnia for more than 40 years. She'd tried everything: melatonin supplements, herbal teas, white noise machines, even prescription sleep medication, and nothing had worked. During a quiet moment in my office one evening, she told me, "I've gone to bed at midnight since I was a teenager. I honestly don't know how to sleep earlier than that." I gently explained what we now understand, that her body's rhythm had shifted and that maybe, just maybe, all she needed was to stop fighting the clock and lean into the new rhythm her body was offering. She agreed to try something different, in bed by 9:30 p.m. every night for 3 weeks. And that's when things shifted. She came back to see me with tears in her eyes. "Doctor," she said quietly, "I finally sleep. I sleep through the whole night." Beyond that, her daytime exhaustion vanished, her mood lifted, and her memory, once foggy, began to clear. All from one simple change: listening to her body and honoring that golden hour. Mrs. Williams isn't an isolated case. In a 6-month survey our clinic conducted with 500 older adults, those who adopted this same 9 to 10 p.m. bedtime reported the following: 80% fell asleep more easily, 75% woke up fewer times during the night, and 70% felt more energized and balanced the next morning. That's not a miracle, that's science paired with self-care. If your body has been asking you to sleep earlier than it used to, don't push back against it. That early tiredness isn't something to fight through, it's something to welcome. 10 o'clock isn't early anymore. For a lot of people, it's exactly right. If any of this resonates with you or reminds you of someone you care about, I'd love for you to share your thoughts below. Just type the word HOPE in the comments to show that you believe in the power of small changes and that it's never too late to look after your health or support someone you love. Sometimes a single word is enough to light the way forward. The hidden healing power of sleep: 3 life-changing benefits of going to bed on time. When we picture sleep, we usually think of it as rest, a pause from the activity of daily life. But for those of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond, sleep is far more than simply shutting down. It's repair, it's restoration. And when it happens at the right time, it becomes one of the most powerful tools available for protecting your health. Let's start with the heart, the engine that keeps everything else running. Our clinic has tracked sleep habits and cardiovascular health for years, and the results are striking. Older adults who consistently went to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. saw a 45% drop in heart-related issues. Yes, 45%. That's not a small improvement, that's a life-altering one. Their blood pressure stabilized, irregular heartbeats became less common, and many were able to reduce or even discontinue certain medications under their cardiologist's supervision. It's almost as though the body, finally given permission to rest at the right time, started healing itself. From the inside out, one patient told me, "I didn't realize how tired my heart really was until it started beating easily again." But it's not just the heart that benefits from honoring that golden window. Your memory, that quiet, precious part of you holding all your stories and relationships, it's a second chance too. I remember a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, both in their mid-70s, who came to see me worried about small things slipping through the cracks: missed appointments, repeated questions, that persistent mental fog even after a full night's sleep. They were scared, and honestly, who wouldn't be? But once they committed to a steady 9:30 p.m. bedtime, things began to shift. Within 3 months, they reported a 32% improvement in memory function, confirmed through simple cognitive testing. Mrs. Thompson stopped forgetting her medications. Mr. Thompson went back to his morning crossword and actually finished it. He told me, smiling, "It's like the lights came back on upstairs." Science now backs up what we've witnessed firsthand. Earlier sleep gives the brain time to clear out the toxins that build up throughout the day. Toxins linked to forgetfulness, cognitive decline, and even Alzheimer's disease. And perhaps most remarkable of all, the right sleep timing works wonders for emotional well being. In our clinic's most recent findings, patients who kept a consistent 9 to 10 p.m. bedtime showed a 58% reduction in anxiety and depressive symptoms. That's about more than just mood, it's about waking up with a sense of calm, facing the day with purpose, and feeling like yourself again. It turns out that during those early nighttime hours, the brain enters a kind of deep cleaning cycle, washing away noise, stress, and buildup. Not just physically, but emotionally too. It's like giving your mind a warm bath at the end of a long day. And if you're living with diabetes or keeping an eye on your blood sugar, here's another reason to consider adjusting your sleep schedule. Patients who went to bed earlier showed more stable overnight glucose levels. Several were even able to safely and gradually lower their insulin doses with their doctor's guidance. So if you've been asking yourself whether something as simple as bedtime can really make a difference, the answer is yes, 1,000 times yes. Sleep isn't passive, it's powerful medicine, and when it's taken at the right time, it heals far more than most people realize. 5 simple habits that can help you sleep the way you used to. By now, we've talked about how sleep changes with age and why timing matters more than ever. But you might be wondering, what else can I do to help my body sleep better? The good news is you don't need expensive supplements, elaborate routines, or hours of effort. Small, deliberate habits practiced consistently can completely transform your nights. Here are 5 simple steps I've shared with hundreds of patients over the years, many of whom now enjoy the kind of deep, peaceful sleep they thought was gone for good. 1. Honor the golden hour. Sleep between 9 and 10 p.m. If there's only one thing to take away from all of this, let it be this: your body wants to sleep earlier now. That wave of tiredness around 8:30 isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Going to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. lines up with your new biological rhythm, the one shaped by age, shifting hormones, and your internal clock. Honoring that rhythm helps your body settle into deeper, more restorative sleep. It's a bit like catching a wave at exactly the right moment and letting it carry you into rest. 2. Skip caffeine and heavy meals in the evening. Did you know caffeine can stay active in your system for up to 6 hours? That means your 3 p.m. coffee might still be interfering with your sleep at 9:20 that night. Many of my older patients are surprised to learn that even a small piece of chocolate in the evening or a late cup of green tea can make it harder to fall asleep. The same goes for heavy dinners. Rich, greasy, or oversized meals keep your digestive system working overtime right when your body should be winding down. Instead, aim to finish your last full meal at least 3 hours before bed. And if you get hungry later, reach for something light and soothing: a banana, a handful of almonds, or a warm cup of caffeine-free tea. 3. Dim the lights. Let your body know it's time to rest. Our ancestors went to bed with the setting sun, and even though we no longer live by candlelight, our brain still responds strongly to light cues. Bright blue light from TVs, phones, even overhead LED fixtures tells your brain to stay alert. Warm amber lighting, on the other hand, signals that it's safe to let go. Try switching off harsh lighting around 7:30 or 8 p.m. and using a soft lamp with a warm bulb instead. You'll be surprised how quickly your eyelids start feeling heavy on their own. 4. Build a gentle wind-down routine. We'd never send a child straight from homework to bed. We bathe them, read to them, sing them a lullaby. Why not offer yourself that same kindness? Spend 20 or 30 minutes before bed doing something calming. Read a few pages of a book, listen to soft music, do some gentle stretching, or simply sit quietly under a warm blanket with your thoughts. Steer clear of stress triggers like the evening news, to-do lists, or heavy conversations. This time is meant for exhaling. 5. Step away from your screens. This one might be the hardest, but it's also one of the most powerful. Try to set aside your phone, tablet, or remote at least 30 to 60 minutes before bed. The blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, the very hormone that helps you feel sleepy, and even casually scrolling through social media can leave your mind overstimulated and restless. Choose stillness instead. Let the day settle. Sleep, after all, isn't something we can force. It's something we invite. If life has taught us anything over time, it's that change doesn't have to be dramatic to be powerful. Sometimes the most meaningful healing starts with a single shift. One gentle choice to finally listen to what your body has been trying to tell you. So tonight, when the house grows quiet and the sky begins to darken, I want to invite you to pause. Not to rush, not to fight the tiredness, but to see it as a message. A soft voice from within saying, "You've done enough today. It's time to rest." Because at this stage of life, sleep isn't about keeping up with anything. It's about coming home to yourself, to your own rhythms, to the care your heart and mind have earned. And remember this: you're never too old to feel better. It's never too late to heal. There's still time, beautiful, quiet, meaningful time, for your body to feel rested, your mind to feel clear, and your spirit to feel at peace. If this video gave you something new to think about, or reminded you of someone who might need a little extra support with their sleep, I'd be truly grateful if you'd take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so we can keep building this community together. And here's one more thing I'd love for you to do. If you believe it's never too late to rest, heal, and feel strong again, type the word hope in the comments. Not just for yourself, but for someone you care about. Because sometimes all it takes is a single word to remind us we're not alone. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope tonight brings you peace, and that tomorrow greets you with strength. Until next time, sleep well.